everyone, Shaun Gladney here with the Warrior Drumline. Thanks for making it to the 5th video in our series of fundamentals for the front ensemble. From here on out, we're going to be discussing 4-mallet technique. If you're brand new to pit this year, I do not need you to worry about 4-mallet technique. I want you to master 2 mallets this year, and then next year we can get into 4 mallets. If this is not your first year, then you can keep moving on through the series. For our 4-mallet technique, we use what is called Stevens grip, or independent grip. There are a variety of grips to play in 4-mallet playing, and all are okay for various reasons, but we use Stevens grip as it's the most popular and something that's going to help you the most as you move on into future playing and into college potentially. In this grip, we're going to build one hand at a time. So build whichever hand you want first, and then we'll just mirror it in the other hand. First, what I want you to do is take your hand and hold it up. We're going to build the outside mallet first, or the one that's going to end up away from you first. I want you to take that mallet and put it between your middle finger and your ring finger, and just lay it there. You're going to wrap your ring finger and your pinky finger around the butt end of that mallet. There's not going to be a whole lot left over, just a little bit of that mallet sticking out. These two fingers don't really create a lot of motion, they're just there holding the mallet in place. That's going to be your outside mallet. Then take your inside mallet. And what I want you to do is take the actual butt end and stick it in the meaty, fleshy part of your palm, roughly halfway between your middle finger and your thumb, like the base of those two. Most of us have like a line or a crease in our hand, and it's going to fit pretty naturally. Take your middle finger and curl it underneath, and it's going to kind of grip that inside mallet. Your index finger is going to lay underneath the mallet and again act as a shelf and a little bit more support for that inside mallet. Then your thumb is going to lay down right on top of that inside mallet. Looking from the top, your thumb and index finger almost create a T again. When we come into position, your thumb is going to be straight up to the ceiling. The back side of your hand is going to be perpendicular to the floor. Your mallets are going to naturally rest at an interval of about a 4th or a 5th here in the middle. Too wide is going to be a stretch, and we'll get there, and too narrow is going to be a stretch, and we'll get there. So they'll naturally fit in this middle angle. When you come into the playing position, your elbow and arm are going to naturally bisect these two mallets, and we want that. We do not want your wrist torqued at an angle and your arm at some weird angle. We want to most of the time have your arm bisecting this angle. Now that you've built one hand, you can build the other hand. Now, this grip, if you're new to 4-mallet playing, is going to feel uncomfortable. Your fingers are going to need to develop the strength to hold on to these mallets, and this is not going to feel as natural. It's also not a very natural position for your wrist to be in. Given that, it's going to feel uncomfortable, but you should never be in pain. If you're in pain, something's not right. But being uncomfortable and just needing to build the strength is okay. As we put our mallets up, we do number them from left to right as if you were going to read. Mallet 1, mallet 2, mallet 3, mallet 4. We also talk about the insides, which are the ones closer to your body, and the outsides, which are the ones farther away from your body. You can practice 4-mallet grip away from the keyboard, and I recommend starting away from the keyboard. You can do this on the floor. It's just about making sure that you can get the grip and build the finger strength to control all these mallets, as well as just getting the feel of it in your hand. When you're in your grip, make sure you're not squeezing. You shouldn't feel any tension. Honestly, you shouldn't have to work to hold the mallets in your hand once you've built the grip. They should just be hanging there. I'm not really holding on to them, but they're not going anywhere because my grip, just the way it's constructed, is holding the mallets in my hand. Again, this is very unnatural. A good resource for 4-mallet is the Lee Howard Stevens book called Method of Movement for Marimba. Lee Howard Stevens is what Stevens grip is named after, so he's kind of the master of this. I recommend that all 4-mallet players acquire that book, as it has a lot of resources on how to build this. Again, build this away from the keyboard and do a lot of practicing of this on the floor. All right, in the next videos, we'll start to talk about the various types of strokes in 4-mallet playing.